welcome back to True Stories Paranormal Survivor. I am elated about sharing with you one of my experiences. I know I have not been here on the radio, but I have been traveling to bring you back some of the most interesting experiences. I mean, if you hear me now, you can tell that what I am about to share is just, for me, life-changing. Because if you've been listening to my podcast, that I have experienced a lot. And I bring you these stories because it is fascinating to me. And I also want to bring you this story because I think it is going to be an experience and a place that investigators will want to check out if you are an investigator or just somebody of interest who would like to check out something like this. Many of you know I have had experiences with entities, but not so much with apparitions, and I cannot wait to unfold. And this will be because I cannot wait to do a second one to share with some of the things that I experienced at the mountains and at the lake. I am going to do two parts to share because at this location and at this place for about 4 days, I was able to capture a lot of stuff. Okay. So when we return, I am going to be sharing with you one of my most, I gotta say, haunted, spooky horror experiences. I visited Smith Mountain Lake, and at the time, I got to be honest with you guys, I did not know of its hauntings. I didn't know of its supernatural or paranormal. However, all of us who are familiar with bodies of water, large parts of land, rural areas, we understand that some of these things I'm going to talk about today are to be expected. Now, I was traveling down, I think it was Smith Mountain Lake Road. Not quite sure if that is the correct highway, but I know it was in Monetta. And I think it was probably about 9:30 at night. And I mean, there are a lot of twists and turns and strange things going on in the mountains. And I have heard of, a lot of stories with people seeing things like Sasquatch and Bigfoot. Things like that. I've also heard a lot about apparitions, anomalies, all types of shadows and things at night in the mountains. And so I never had my own experience, though I'm always looking and I'm always keeping my eyes open. I'm always looking up. And I'm always paying attention to the sides of the road. And on this particular time, I was quite tired, had been traveling for pretty much all day, but we did make a stop and get some rest. But when I saw this, I was fully aware of what was going on. Now, traveling in Monetta at about 9:30 at night, and I see something on the side of the road. Guys, investigators, people especially investigators, you have to go back and check this out. I see this because and the reason why I explained to you about the roads and the curves, because we have to really slow down in this area. And I see this whiteness on the side of the road and like a long, it looked like a long piece of fabric at first as we are coming into this curved area. And then I see, now I'm really paying attention. And then I see what seems to appear as like, you know how a veil looks, but like a veil that is old or kind of, I shouldn't say ratty, but you can tell it was old. And you can see like this veil. So this is now what I'm putting together because obviously I've worn a veil before. And I'm like, is that what I see, or is there something hanging? Guys, when we come up to like the dip in the road and you have to kind of turn the car a little bit more to the left, which puts us a little closer to the left side of the road, I am in awe. I am shooketh by what I am actually seeing. And I tell my husband to slow down some. Don't tell him what I'm seeing, because had I told him, he probably would have floored it. And I tell him to slow down some, and he slows down. On the side of the road, you can clearly see, my friends, you can clearly see a woman on the side of the road with her head down and like a white veil, and then this long draped dress. And she is kind of almost like she's about to be in motion, in movement, because her shoulders were like in a weird stance and her head was kind of hung over downward. Oh my goodness. When I tell you, it is so worth going back. I am literally savoring this in my mind because I was not able to get a video. I would have been uploading this, as I told you guys, that I am creating this YouTube channel because I want you guys to experience this with me, and I want you to see what I'm talking about. So I'm kind of grabbing all of these videos, but this is one I missed because I was so shook and so in shock of what I was seeing as we were coming into the turn that I was really trying to see if this is really what this is. Because as I said before, I'm always trying to go, maybe it's this or maybe it's that. I don't want to just go right into, okay, that's a scary thing on the side of the road. But she was in motion, like as if she was going to take a step or move closer to the road or already moving, but she was in motion and she had more like a hunched over type of let's see, like the way her shoulders were, her stance. I don't know if this is something that is quite usual, quite normal for Manetta or Manita. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly, but I'm not sure if this is something that is normal. If you are an investigator and you have done some investigating in Smith Mountain Lake, please hit me up. I am going back. I'm going back to this location. I want to get the footage. I have to have it. I must see this again. It was so amazing. So creepy, so eerie that when we finally got to the house, I was trying to figure out how I was going to explain this to my husband and my daughter. I'm just like, this was a lot. And because, you know, when you stay directly right on the lake, everything around you is super duper dark. It's black, and you don't see anything particularly other than the water, and you can barely see that. Or you can see like if there are any houses around you, you can see like their porch lights on, but it is black, honey. When you turn off the lights, it's lights out if you stay on the lake. Okay. And so I didn't mention it because I figured it was going to be quite creepy, quite eerie. Now, this is where we get into part two. I'm not even going to music you. I'm not going to give you a whole, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to break none of that, honey. I'm going to get right into it because this is something else that I'm always fascinated by. But when I talk about these types of experiences, people go kind of wackadoodly do crazy because not everybody experiences extraterrestrial. And that is something I've been into for years and years and years. And it's been something that I've been torn about sharing on this podcast. I've been kind of in the middle of, should I have a whole different show about extraterrestrial, because I have so many, 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 many experiences, like a vault of footage and experiences. But I have to share this because this happened also while I was at the lake. And if you are an investigator or a researcher, again, you are familiar with the idea and what happens in the mountains and at the lake. So you get it, okay? So I don't think that, my listeners will think that, by now you should know I'm a little bit, different. And I get fascinated by things that are a little bit more, a little bit deeper than just what you see outside, okay? So day 2 of the trip, I am now trying to figure out, should I go and do more investigating in these locations? But I have to weigh this stuff because, you are with family. Now I know I am in a location, though, where I'm going to be seeing a lot, my friends. So it is black, dark outside. And I am preparing to shut everything down as if, same thing I do at my own home. And I go past the window and I immediately notice, the biggest, large ball of light in the sky. Now, this could be anything. It could be a planet. It could be this, da, 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 da. I already know that's what you're thinking. I was thinking it too. And now it's caught my attention. So I just decide I'm going to stay in this area and I'm going to look up, because if this is what it is, nothing's going to change and everything is going to be fine. And I'm going to just go upstairs or downstairs and I'm going to not think about it anymore. My friends, while I am watching this light, and I am going to post this, by the way, because I cannot wait for you guys to see this. I can't make this stuff up. While I am watching the light, my friends, the light begins to turn, move, get brighter, turn like a reddish color, back to like a orangish color. It just kept doing all types of weird things. And you'll hear in the video where I continue to tell my daughter, look, like, you got to see this. Come look in this thing. And we are now fascinated. I'm fascinated. She's spooked out because I seem to have these experiences regularly. So, especially extraterrestrial. See things all the time. And so, you have to be totally submerged into this world, as I am, for things like this to not creep you out. So I'm watching it, and all of a sudden, this bright light goes from one location, literally, to a different location. And I'm like, where did it go? Where did it go? Again, you will hear this in the video and see it. And while I am watching, my friends, there is this cylinder, flat, round, large thing. And yes, I have the footage that appears. And it is now hovering, over this large area of the lake. And all you could really see from where I am standing and trying to get this footage from my window is a lot of lights, but they're like in a row in this half moon shape. Now that's all I could see. And I am losing it, trying to figure out what is it? What is hovering now over the water? And then over that is this ball of light. I am mid freaking out and I'm trying to be quiet. And I have to always understand that just as you think that you're watching something, it could be watching you. So, guys, this is no lie, 100% honest to God truth. I am now almost watching this as if I can't look away. Don't know what the heck that means. But I am fully all in, and I want to leave the window and I want to stop looking at it. You know, I want to get somebody else to come over here. In my mind, I'm thinking, gosh, they should see this. But I literally cannot leave the window. It's almost as if I'm freaking mesmerized by what I'm watching and literally cannot remove myself from the window. Lie to you not, God honest truth. So I am looking at this, and then I notice that the thing that looked like it was kind of hovering or whatever, it just goes dark. You no longer see it. And then there's this big giant ball that starts to do something really weird in the sky, and it starts turning and moving. And I'm just like, oh my God. It's almost as if somebody snapped their fingers and you go, oh my God, snap out of it. You can't look at this. That is exactly what I did. Don't know why that I felt the need that it was time to stop looking at it. I didn't need to look at it anymore. I literally cameras down and went and started to show the footage to my daughter. And I didn't show it to my husband until we left the lake house and returned. I had to share that experience because I don't know if anybody else out there has experienced things like this at the mountain, at the lake. I think it's fascinating to be able to get so much in one place. Though Moneta is a little bit ways down from where we were. It's probably, I want to say, maybe about a 15-minute drive from where we actually, where the lake house was. But to get so much in Smith Mountain Lake, I got to tell you, if you are an investigator, you have to take a couple of days and go back and check it out. Something else that I find very strange about the place, I haven't done much research to find out why this is. They have a lot of graveyards that sit on the corner of the road at the intersections. Don't know what that's all about. I'm not into I'm not into disturbing the peace. There are people, I'm not saying that when you go and investigate graveyards that you are disturbing the peace. That's just for me. I don't go to these locations and ask questions and have conversations, and I just don't disturb. But a lot of times I see things when I am out, and I'm aware that things are always around me, but I don't summon, I don't disturb, because I am a clairvoyant, and I don't do it. But I do think that if you are a person who find it fascinating just to actually go and view some of these places or investigate some of these areas, I'm telling you, go to Moneta, go to Smith Mountain Lake, and do some investigations. You will be amazed at all that you will gather in one location. And we'll talk more on tomorrow.